Well, hi, and thanks for dropping into my shop, except we're not in my shop. Right now we're in my office, and we're going to be comparing two radios here. This one in front of us, which is one I recently checked out. This radio appears to be in great condition, so I'm pretty excited to test it out. And the comparator is going to be my Icom PCR1000, which you see over here on the screen. You see the computer display for it. So they're going to be sharing the very same antenna, but they will not be sharing the same speakers. So the PCR1000 is coming through my fairly good computer speakers, and the Panasonic, the RF-5000, is going to be coming right out of its own speaker right here. So I don't think that's too much to be concerned about. This radio is really intended to be listened to from its own speaker, so why don't we do that? And I'm sorry for the awkward display. It's very tricky getting a camera shot of these two items. The light levels and all this stuff is very, very challenging for me to get this even to look like this, so you can see the computer display without it being all washed out. So sorry, it's not quite as cool looking as maybe it could be. So let's get at it. Right now I have the PCR tuned to 15,000, and the reason for that is to get WWV. So here it is. Now on my computer radio has some great features. One of them is this display here, which you should really keep your eye on. And boy, not much signal from WWV here, right? It was a little stronger just a few minutes ago, but it's kind of there. Well, that's a good signal. It's right on the edge. So let's get the RF-5000 going now. So to find 15,000, there it is. I have to get on band number 5. I'll turn down the PCR. In fact, I'll just mute it. It's going to be a pretty noisy time here. Well, there's next to nothing coming through this radio. Ooh. Well, that's all it wants to do, so let's go see what it's picking up at 15. Yeah, I don't think the antenna's connected properly here. What's going on? Antenna. Okay. Test comes to immediate halt. Explain that. All I did was connect and reconnect the antenna leads. Don't know what that was. It's a little disconcerting, I have to admit. But there we are. We're on now. I'm right on the 15 here. I don't know the accuracy of the dial on this radio. You can quickly look over here, you can see, look, WWV is putting out a good signal right now. Okay, at this point you just need any signal on the RF-5000. Now, I'm doing this in the morning here. It's around, what time is it exactly? It's 9:45 in the morning in Toronto.
Look like.
There we are.
And the fallen angels. You know, I do have to have a chapter about the fallen angels because it's important for kids
as
to
usual,
know growing up
religious
that there
station.
are
Now we
good
look back
angels
over
and
here.
there
We
are
can see a couple strong stations here.
Let's take a quick break. Let me put out the phone number if you have a question.
We'll go on this one. 15145, and we'll see what it is. Quiet down the RF-5000. No, that's not it. That's Chinese radio. Somewhere up around 15.6, way up here.
I made an appointment for you tomorrow morning. No, I don't want to do that.
There it is. Now, a couple things. We're going to do this. This radio is a computer radio. It has a digital buffer in it in the audio circuits. Therefore, the sound is slightly delayed. So when I play both radios, no delay here, slight delay there, you hear an echo.
This program is brought to you in part by the generous support of Sienna Communications. Sienna introduces a plan.
So first, we'll listen to the PCR. Look at the signal strength there, if you can see it. It's way up. I mean, this is a really strong signal. Clear, no hiss. Fidelity excellent. The signal is booming in. Look at that. Plus, it's well over 60 decibels. I believe that's 60 decibels above 1 microvolt. So this is like as strong as the signal can get, actually. Alright, so weak as can be on here. Let's try it again. Can't even hear it. This can't be the same signal. That's it, alright. So, as this meter goes up, I'm sorry, I'm yelling in the microphone here. As this meter goes up, plus 60, which is a very, very strong signal. This one picks it up okay. Wow, that's not very good.
Not available in Montana. Medicare, affordable biblical health care. Call 855-PSALM-11. That's 855-PSALM-11.
Maybe my antenna connection is not proper. Man, it's terrible, isn't it? I mean, it's not standing up at all. Same station broadcasting in two places nearby, strong and weak? No, I don't think so. If you listen to this RF-5000, you'd think there's only one.
Dr. Norman Hutchins. Look at somebody and say, I feel a breakthrough.
Uh-oh, doctor. As soon as they say doctor, you know he's not a doctor. On these shows. I'm turning him down. Well, you know, I'm going to fool around with the antenna a little bit here. I'm going to stop the camera, fool around with the antenna and see if I can't find out if I'm really not getting the signal to this radio, because it's not performing. It's performing like it doesn't have an antenna. So I think it doesn't. So, give me a few minutes here. We'll see when I come back if okay, so now I got to be very careful about copyright infringement here when I'm doing this, because any one of these songs you hear coming over it could be copyrighted, so that's why I turned that down right away. Okay, so as usual, first thing I did was check what I did, and what I did that was wrong was I plugged my shortwave antenna into the FM antenna inputs on here. So now I have it plugged into the excuse me, the shortwave antenna inputs. It's much better. So let's get off this. We'll head back down to WWV. Still not. There it is. Did you hear it? I heard it. It's right there. We'll set the PCR to the same frequency here. 15,000. Here's what it sounds like on the PCR. And here's what it sounds like on the RF. You can see the signal just coming up. You can keep your eye on this too. You can watch this bar go up and down and give you an idea. So again, the RF-5000 is not performing as well as it could. And that's what's on my PCR. We'll flip over. Yeah, it's barely audible on here now. So I'm still concerned I haven't got the antenna right here. No, I'm sorry to say it's connected properly. There's no gain there. So now, I'm not sure if these two antennas on the top are connected during shortwave use. Let's put them up and see what happens here. I'd say you got a little better there. I don't think they're connected, frankly. Okay, let's try another signal a little further up the band. We should be able to pick up okay, let's match that one on the PCR here.
Destacamos que la cumbre colateral que se realizará en La Habana los días 28 y 29 de este mes, pues impulsarán los planes contra el hambre y la pobreza. Y conocimos de la denuncia de ante los actos de grupos terroristas en este país.
There it is. So once again, this is a very, very strong signal. Our radio's picking it up without too much difficulty. So let's try a weaker one though. How about that guy right there? So this is the PCR we're listening to now. There's nothing there. It's a very, very bad time of day to be doing this, frankly. I mean, in terms of getting strong signals. On the other hand, it's a great time to do this because we want weak signals. Okay, so that guy barely coming through. Let's see if we can find this signal slightly up the dial on this radio. I'm tuning very, very slowly because it's fading in and out. You gotta hang around for a while to catch it. It's very tricky on an inaccurate dial like this to find what you're after. It's even hard to figure out what you've got when you finally tune something in because you never know what frequency you're on. And for those of you who are technically a little bit advanced and have some equipment around, if you've got a signal generator frequency counter, you can turn any radio like this into a super accurate radio just by beating your signal generator against the frequency and reading the frequency counter. Well, I went right by it, I'm sure. I'm way up there now. I'm about like 15.6. So this guy's not up to snuff here, at least up on this band. Let's go down one band. now we're on the 9 to 12 megahertz, a little low for this time of day. We'll try up with 12 here, 25 meter band. Just below 12. Got some nice music here. Don't think I'll get a copyright strike on this one. So let's see if we can find this now. Okay, so on this radio, this would be 11.9, I would say. So we'll go to 11.9 on this one. 11.9 enter. Okay, so now we look down at the display. That could be the station there. Let's try that. And there it is. So what that tells me is, it's not totally inaccurate. I was able to guess fairly closely within 30 kilohertz of what I was tuned to. But again, look at the display, and you can see how powerful that signal actually is. Standing out head and shoulders above everything else. All the rest looks like noise. Or this one up here. So let's try this guy up here. Find it on this radio.
Near the banks of the Cumberland River. This is WTWW, Lebanon, Tennessee, United States of America.
There it is. Again,
Daily broadcasting
very
the
powerful
Word of
station.
God in 10 different languages to the entire world.
Okay, but not in my office. You're not. So, well, we're not having the greatest time with this radio, are we? Let's try 20 megacycles. We'll go up higher. It'll be 20 kilohertz for everybody who's in the here and now. 20. So we're on 20. There it is. Look at that. Just that's all you see. There's almost no noise up here. That's great. Let's go up to 20 on this one. See if we can find it. So 20 would be shortwave 6. I'm almost at 20. 20 would be right around here. Turned it up a fair bit here. The signal's gone down to the noise. I'm keeping an eye on this. There it comes. Ooh, what was that? What's that? What is that weird thing? What is that? What is that? Excuse me while I do a little exploring over here. This is a very odd thing. Very powerful signal. No modulation. Wow. Well, that was a little odd. What was that? Oh, there we are. Okay, funny thing on this radio, when you're on upper or lower sideband, you cannot have this display running. It's a shortwave, or it's a software problem that is inherent in the software for this radio. So there we are. That's what that signal is. Hey, can we find that on here? Wait a minute. This is this radio. Remember, we're listening to this radio, and I'm tuning this one. now we're listening to the stability of this radio. We're actually listening to the local. I think we're listening to the local oscillator in this radio. So it's leaking out the antenna, being picked up by the PCR. If you hear a drift, the drift is this. That's interesting, eh? Ooh. It's like a musical instrument here. Well, we don't want to listen to that too much. That's what the mystery signal was. Now we'll go back up to barely a signal there at 20. Let's go back to try to see if we can find it here. No, I cannot find it. So once again, the RF-5000 is falling short of the PCR. PCR1000 is a pretty good radio. Its sensitivity is similar to all the other high-quality radios. There's nothing really wrong with it. So I'm not sure we can do any more comparison here. Nothing really coming to mind. I could shoot down through the AM band and we'll see what happens here. So I do this medium wave. Because you know, in my shop it is so full of noise, although computer screens everywhere here too. Now this might just be on an internal antenna, I'm not sure.
Big City 1007, Ottawa has six.
Okay, so you see it's mostly noise. Now let's try the same thing with the PCR 1000. So we'll go to 1.6 megahertz. You can see the reception. I'm actually going to turn on the attenuator here, cut it back a little bit, and we'll just tune down through the band. Lots of noise and not too much in the way of radio signals. .1050 is the local station. 1010 just wiped out by noise. 970 in Buffalo, not coming through. 930 Buffalo, nothing much coming through here. I see some signals coming. Terrible. See, that's what we're hearing on this radio. Terrible, isn't it? Enough of that. Enough of that. So much for AM radio in what just happened? Oh, I turned off the attenuator. That's what happened. Yeah, I'm beside myself with. Well, I don't know what to think about this radio. If it's weak because it's old, or if this is it. This is the front end on this thing, or have I not connected the antenna properly? Maybe the last thing I'll do is I'll spin the radio around. We'll look at the antenna connections together here. By the way, there's this front on this radio is a little awkward because it doesn't come off. It's kind of always in the way. Okay, so there's the back of the radio. There's the antenna connection, the antenna lead. It's not the best lead, but it should be okay. Above it is the FM. This is another FM antenna and a bunch of audio output things. And that's it. There's no antenna switch to switch from rabbit ears down. Hey, still trying to figure out what the heck this is. This mysterious thing here. And I think that's it. I think that's all we can really do with this radio. I just can't think of any better way to test it out, really. And I don't know if I made myself clear. The front here, it doesn't come off. When you fold it down, there it is in front of you. Never to go away. It doesn't pop off unless I miss something along the way. So I find that just a little bit annoying. I'd like to take this off and set it aside. Because you need a lot of real estate in front of the radio just to open up this lid. Well, anyway, thanks for watching. I don't think it's conclusive about this radio, either this particular one or this model in general. The tests I do are only half scientific. There are usually problems with what I'm doing, and that's probably the case here. So I wouldn't write this radio off. It's still a beautiful looker. It sounds good with a strong signal. You know, and frankly, if you're a serious shortwave listener, you're not going to be using this radio. Not today. You're going to be using a radio with a digital output. No question about it. So, you know, the look, functionality is good. Just kind of weak on the sensitivity. That's what I would say about this particular radio. I can't say anything about this model in general. I don't know anything. So anyway, enough of me talking. Thanks a lot for watching. And well, I think I'm going to do another comparison video right after this. So thanks for watching this one.